Today on the Pipe Dreams podcast, we're going to be talking about some amazing techniques in regards to pipe smoking that could change your entire experience. Stay tuned. All right, Tanner, what are we doing today?
We got 12 unbelievable pipe smoking hacks you won't believe exist.
I'm really excited. Let's get into this.
All right. First, proper packing techniques. We all know the three-way method.
Yeah, there's a three-way method. There's a couple of different methods. I do something like the three-way method.
Which is?
The two-way method. No, I really do just... I honestly, I don't even know if I really do the three-way method anymore. I think that was almost like a beginner thing that I was doing. Now I just kind of like sprinkle it in there, and I almost like just sprinkle it in three different ways, like three different times, depending on the bowl size. And then I light it, and it kind of flares all up on top, and then I tamper it down, and you can kind of just control how thick it is with the tampering. That's basically just all I do.
Yeah.
There's a three-way method, though, of the pack it light, pack it medium, and pack it thick.
Yeah.
Good rule of
The
thumb,
thing is,
maybe.
like, I don't even do it three times. Like, I just packed this bowl, Peterson 965, great tobacco. Like, I used three fingers. Or not three fingers. I used, I do it just very small at a time. I do a little bit. I probably, like, packed it, like, 5 times.
Yeah.
To make sure it's properly packed. Slightly in the bottom, dense in the middle, and fluffy on the top.
You just don't want it, like, the general rule of thumb is you don't want it too light and you don't want it too thick. Too light being that you won't be able to create sort of like the red burning cherry because it's too thick or it's too light and it'll just burn right through. The other thing is if it's too thick, you won't be able to get any airflow to it.
Yeah, and you're sucking, and that fine line of the homosexuality.
Yeah, that comes in if you're sucking too hard on a pipe. If you're a thick stacker, you want to go to one of those sodomy conversion camps.
Yeah.
Next.
All right. The use of quality tobacco. You want to invest in some high quality tobacco. So I would say at least $18 to $19 for 4 ounces. That's what I went back there a little bit to see what we're spending on the tobaccos that we have. And it seems to be like $19.99 was like the average for 4 ounces for high-end pipe tobacco. Now, the large corporations can mass produce things like Peterson. You could probably get that for like $12, and they got some high-end quality tobacco. But your small, like I always just say mom and pop shops like Boswell and Country Squire's picking it up.
Gallon Burlier.
Yeah.
I think that this also applies to pipes. It's almost like a general rule of thumb, I'd say. $70-ish to $100 pipe is a good price for a pipe. With like a $10 to $14 pipe tobacco. Obviously, it depends on your preferences and everything. However, that's kind of like where I've been leaning towards now. Because the pipe does matter and the tobacco does matter. You don't always want to cheap out. Of course, there's exceptions. Sometimes you can get a nice corn cob like we have right there in the middle. Could be $20 for a good corn cob, but...
And it does the job. Now, it's just not going to last as long.
Yeah.
All right. Moisten your tobacco.
Well, and this can kind of comes with a caveat. Like whenever I got Seattle's Pipe Club's plum pudding, it was too moist.
Mm-hmm.
Tasted like wet socks.
Yeah.
That one needed to dry out just a little bit, and then it went from like my least favorite to one of my favorite tobaccos. Now, if it's too dry, you kind of want to moisten it up.
Well, you burn
a
right
little bit.
through it.
Yeah.
I think you lose a lot of the flavoring. But the main point in this one is jar and sell your tobaccos. If you don't plan on smoking it, like I wouldn't leave it outside. We've left a few outside in the jars, and there's like moist, like it evaporates and it's on the top, the moisture. So keep them in dark areas, like in the basement or whatever. And like we jarred these because something like this, it's not a good seal. Like this thing's barely on there. And if you want to age and have your tobacco long, this is
you'd want to
take
put it
them out
in an actual jar.
Yeah, and label them. Yeah. Man, that actually smells pretty good.
I didn't like that whenever we first got it. And that's the thing. I've gotten tobaccos where I hate them the moment I get them and smoke them.
Mm-hmm.
Even just in something like that, I waited 3 months. No, actually, I got that for your birthday. Waited like 6 to 7 months. Now I absolutely love that one.
Yeah, it has like almost smells like vanilla moonshine.
I mean, yeah, it's vanilla, Virginia. So yeah, just be cognizant of how dry it is, how moist it is, and then cellaring them and realizing that they can age.
Also, do you remember that little thing I had with the tobacco? Like if it was too dry, there's these little, I don't know what they're called, little pucks. You can put a little water, like a little bit of water in there and throw them in there and actually moisten them up. They also said
It's almost like the humidor process.
Yeah, and they said even like a wet piece of paper towel, you just throw in there. I'd stay away from paper towels because of the chemicals on them. But yeah.
So the next one we're talking about pipe cleaners, and this is one that I do not do enough of.
Me either. I think I've cleaned a pipe 3 times.
I think ideally, if you're using the same pipe and you want to really focus on the taste of tobaccos, it might make more sense to smoke something, use the pipe cleaner, clean out your pipe, and then smoke the new one. We have so many pipes, so we just kind of circulate them around a bit.
That's another point. We'll get there. Rotating the pipes.
I really only clean my pipes whenever I really start to notice a bad taste.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realize that there's all this tar caked up on the inside the actual stem. And, I should be more preventative instead of like reactionary against it. But
yeah. And then slow puffing. What's his name? The Pipe Cottage calls it sipping. You want to take slow, gentle puffs when smoking your pipe. This prevents overheating and ensures a cooler, more flavorful smoke. 100% agree with it.
Yeah, whenever I first got into pipe smoking, I was basically burning my tongue, and like tar was basically, I'm spitting up tar.
Mm-hmm.
Especially whenever you're passing around to other people.
The bitterness, it's like cooking. If you just put food on there and crank it to high, it's going to taste like shit. Like a nice slow puffing. Like right now, like I'm not just sitting here chaining this like a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
Rotating.
I do have to, whenever you're trying to keep it lit, sometimes there's a little bit of slight exhale, inhale, like what I was just doing right there, trying to keep it lit. Yeah. I feel like you kind of gotta get oxygen to it.
And you can, and that's the cool thing about a pipe. You can just see if you don't think you're smoking, like if the bowl gets hot, you're smoking it too fast. But also, it can come down, you might have a shitty pipe.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have good insulation. Like right now, it's like a little warm. It's not too hot, so I'm smoking just the perfect amount right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell on something like this is a huge bowl. The bottom of the bowl really is like down here, so I'm able to hold a lot of tobacco. It's really thick as well, so I won't be able to really determine how I'm smoking it based on the heat necessarily on something like this, but other ones definitely.
But you can probably go off by the way your tongue feels. I think that's another
Yeah, definitely the tongue. This one's a lot lighter, or
small.
It's not as thick. The bowl's not as big, so this really starts to heat up if I'm chaining it. Rotate your pipes. Yeah,
which kind of just said
which we kind of just talked about, the whole cleaning the pipes and then rotating them depending on the tobaccos. It's good to have a cherry tobacco pipe. Cherry's an aromatic, and corn cobs are one of the best options to have for your cherry tobacco. And then just to have a cherry corn cob aromatic pipe, I think is a good idea. I always say I'm going to do that, but then I end up, we have people over and then we're just smoking everything, and
because you want people to try out your new pipes and stuff.
Yeah, and so I've wanted to, but I don't exactly have one necessarily
specific
for the cherry.
Doing that also helps extend the lifespan of the pipe. So if you had one pipe, you smoked it for 10, 15 years, it's going to show some damage. These ones would never be able to. I'd say these are going to start really cracking over the next year.
Yeah, those ones aren't going to last too much longer. But next one is aromatics versus non-aromatics. If you're just getting new into pipe smoking, you should probably start with the aromatic, which kind of burn like a chimney. They're easy to light and everything like that. And they have different flavors. A lot of people can get attracted to the flavors. Cherry, like a nutty, chocolate. We have Pennsylvania Dutch Treat, Berry Cobbler, Boswell's Peaches and Cream, Christmas Cookie. Cherokee is a cherry.
Yeah.
Lane Limited 1Q. sort of like a vanilla.
Actually,
A very good beginner blend.
Cherokee's it's nougat. That was what it actually is.
And cherry, right?
A little bit cherry, but the main thing is nougat, like Three Musketeer.
Yeah, so if you're normally starting, like I'm smoking today, a Westminster by GLPs, which is in English.
Same.
Not the best for a beginner.
Mm-mm.
I mean, this is a vanilla Virginia right there.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, I probably wouldn't suggest that to a beginner. I mean, maybe if they were like the taste of Virginias, which to me Virginias can be a little bit sour.
You want to pull people and you don't want to scare them away.
Get a good cherry to begin with, and that's an aromatic. Those are easy to light and everything. Englishes burn hotter, and so you gotta smoke them slower, or else you might burn your tongue.
It's too rough. Some of them.
The bowl begins to heat up. So just recognize the balance between aromatics and then all non-aromatics. Pipe resting, yeah, we kind of talked about that.
This one's a little more like after smoking, like your pipe rests for at least 24 hours.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't smoke every single day, but that's also nice having multiple pipes. You don't really have to I need to let this sit for a day.
That might be more for cheaper pipes. Like if you're just chaining through 5 bowls in a row with a crappy pipe, there might be some issues, but
that's probably why they cracked. Because those are the
possibly,
ones
yeah.
We didn't really know how to smoke in the beginning.
Yeah, invest in pipe accessories. I don't have the lighter down here, of course. However, I do have a lighter that has basically one of these attached to it. You can get these for just a couple of dollars. Maybe we can just throw a link in the description if there's like
you can get these on Amazon.
You can?
Yep. This has the tamper on the bottom. Like probably the best lighter because it's designed exactly for pipes. You strike it from the side. Doesn't have any butane in it. You strike it from the side. It's a nice, soft flame. You should not be using butane. I just learned that because it scorches the tobacco right off the top. And it gives a terrible
These
flavor.
are so cheap, you might as well just get one.
Those are usually given to us free when we buy tobacco.
Yeah, 3 different accessories on this one. They all come in handy. One for scooping it out, like the little shovel almost. This is the tamper. And then this just really thin rod can kind of help you poke through your tobacco to get some air circulation if you've packed it like unbelievably thick. So it's the accessories, so a good lighter, just some tools like this.
Matches or another good one.
I do like to smoke with matches and whatnot, but a baggie to take places, put all your pipe tobacco in.
You mean like this? Actually,
just a tobacco pouch you can put your pipe and stuff in. I know that makes it easy for traveling. I've put that off for a while, but experiment with pipe shapes. This is a big one if you want to.
So the different pipe shapes can influence the flavor and smoking characteristics of the tobacco. And it's like experiment to find what suits your taste.
Yeah, so basically, there's many different types. This is obviously a very specific type of pipe. There's actually other connecting pieces that make this really long. It busted, sadly. So this is what I'm working with right now. This is not a good one if you're going to be doing things with your hands. It's a very difficult time holding this in my mouth. You want a light one that basically just comes right out. If you're into holding it down low, you want one that has a curve.
Corn cobs for aromatics and briars for your what am I thinking of?
Just like English blends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heavier blends.
You want a thicker bowl for the tobaccos that burn hotter, so like an English blend, let's just say. So experiment. I want to have
one of each.
And I'm kind of getting there. One of every category, essentially.
Churchwarden. You can just smoke pretty much anything in that.
Yeah. And then next would be proper storage. We were kind of talking about the pipe tobacco. Don't leave them open. Don't leave them in the sun because the moisture will evaporate. Then it'll be on the side, so you dry out the tobacco.
Mold.
But then you also have water in there at that point, so then mold can grow on the dry tobacco.
So the best thing is to literally do what we have here. Cellar them.
Yeah, in a place where there's generally not a lot of light. I mean, we have the lights on down here right now, but that's not the case. And then a relighting technique, and that can be an issue. Sometimes I do something as simple as this, really. I usually like to ideally, whenever I light my pipe, I immediately put it back out once it starts to singe the top. Mm-hmm. And then I immediately relight.
Yeah.
Trying to burn the entire top of the surface.
Nice even burn.
So we can, just like a cigar, we can burn easily down. A lot of times, depending on what I'm doing as well, halfway through, it will go out. And then you can tamper it down. Sometimes the amount of ash built up becomes too much. So I'll just do something like basically like right now, and I'll just give it like a little toss. Yeah, like nothing too crazy like that. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to hit my mic. This thing has been
shitty.
And then I would relight. Once I re-tamper it back down, now you don't have so much ash on there anymore. The tobacco generally, with the amount of moisture that is at the bottom, and you slowly tampering it, generally will not fall out whenever you just give it like a real quick, little toss like that. So then you're able to relight at that point.
Yeah, and the thing is you don't want to waste, there's no need to waste tobacco. Like, people put too much time and effort in making these tobaccos, so like, it's almost like respecting the smoke, the tobacco. Like, there's no need to waste it.
Yeah.
And I usually would do something similar to that, where in the beginning I'll light it up. I'll probably pack it 3 times, and then like, there's sometimes like right now I'm talking that I can literally, if I tried too hard enough, I could probably get this thing back to smoking. It's almost like a fire, like an ash. Like, you don't always just breathe it back, like breathe on it and it can bring it back. But
sometimes there's too much moisture. Now, the longer your stem, a lot of times you don't have to worry about that moisture buildup down low. But whenever, like, I don't know where all my pipes are at all the times, but if it's a lot shorter stem, sometimes you got to worry about that moisture buildup. If the stem's a curve, you kind of got to worry.
Right there.
Yeah. I got this wire here. I don't want to, I guess it's not touching anything. Yeah, something like this. I sometimes deal with moisture problems just because of how small the stem is, and that's just natural. But those are just some 12 techniques that could really change your pipe smoking experience. And we suggest that you just keep these in mind whenever you're smoking, because there's solutions. Don't ever just start. Get discouraged by not being able to get it lit, crappy tasting tobacco, burning it, everything that we mentioned here, the different types of tobacco, the aromatics. Like, don't just smoke in English and be like, okay, pipe smoking is not for me.
Yeah. Get
started on some aromatics, but that's just our 2 cents with this whole thing. I'm about done with this. I was smoking Westminster.
Smoking Peterson 965. Check out our top 3 videos. What's the one that it's taken off right now? I always forget the name of it.
Why young people should smoke pipe tobacco or something like that. But yeah, go check out some of our old videos. Follow us on Instagram at the Chuba Brothers. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Hope you guys like this video.
In our shirts. I'm going to stand up real quick and show you. We have, if you are interested, put in the comments or whatever your address. We can,
Well, I mean, we're working
on the websites, right?
We just don't have it yet, but we have all the tools and everything to get it, some good
all the images
shirt
and
designs
stuff.
And everything up.
But there's a way to do that. They could just give us the Venmo, or they can give.
Yeah, I mean, you're in charge of that part.
But I'm going to stand up and show you the shirt.
Trump 2020, baby. Oh, I said the wrong one. Trump 2024, baby.
Oh yeah, now I just got Trump's Kennedy. These are my 2 favorite.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to have a shirt like this. I know that not everyone has. This is very, obviously, somewhat unlikely, but
it could happen.
I like the shirt. If anything, it's at least a statement of choosing the people that are outside of the regime, generally speaking. But, it's always controversial to talk about politics. But yeah, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Watch some of our other videos, and we'll see you in another video. Peace.